January when the season even started. Here's Herriman, the 18th seed in the playoffs. They love to muck it up and play physical in the middle. Look at the Davis Darts. What have the Darts prided themselves on all these years? Defense. Well, guess what we're getting today in the final? We're going to get two gritty physical teams in the final for 6A. It is going to be a massive matchup with everything on the line. Now, Davis had to rely on a lot of their defense on Monday against the Mountain Ridge Sentinels in that 2-0 victory. They scored their first goal off a fluky bounce, really, from Andrew Donegan, and then they didn't score again until the end of the game. You have to feel that they have to step up and get more production out of their offense today if they want to have a shot at breaking down the Herriman Mustangs. Now, on the other side for Herriman, they're coming off a very physical, very tense, very nasty 2-1 extra time victory against Farmington on Monday. Call it controversial, call it physical, call it ugly, call it what you want. It's a victory. Herriman is in the final for the first time, and they are seeking to complete one of what would be the greatest championship runs in Utah high school sports history. On the other side for Davis, the last time they were here in the final, they won it in 2012 under Sully Fongsavat. That was last time that the Davis Darts won a boys state soccer championship. Well, it's going to be an interesting matchup, but we're definitely going to be looking forward to some great defense and possibly some good physical play on both sides. Let's just hope they keep it clean more than they did on Monday between Herriman and Farmington. But we'll be back with the starting lineups, the national anthem, and the kickoff after this. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 UHSAA 6A Boys Soccer Final presented by Mountain America Credit Union, and it's presented by our friends at Western Governors University. Yes, Jeff Reeves, let us do play soccer. Welcome back, everyone, to Rio Tinto Stadium for KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 UHSAA Boys Soccer Final. The 6A final about to get underway between the Herriman Mustangs and the Davis Darts. You may have heard a couple of lineup changes announced that Alex Dunham and Jeffrey Smith are dropped to the bench for Herriman coach Marcello Gasparini. On the other side for the Davis Darts, Nash Jensen returns from a suspension because of a red card in the quarterfinal against Syracuse, which means that Justin Mayer has been dropped to the bench today for Sully Fongsavat. Other than that, no more changes to the starting 11 for both sides. Alex Tumulip here in the broadcast gantry at the Rio Tinto Stadium, otherwise known as the Rio T. We've had a terrific day so far. It's a beautiful day here in South Central Utah. Game time temperature here in Sandy expected to be around the mid-70s, officially 78 degrees at kickoff here at the Rio T. Again, the Davis Darts seeking their 5th state title overall. They won in 1983, 98, 2010. Their last coming in 2012 here in this stadium at the Rio T. Davis will have to fend off a stiff challenge from Herriman. Herriman, one of the underdog teams of the tournament, the number 18 seed, winning it dramatically so in extra time on Monday against Farmington. Jeffrey Smith, I stand corrected, actually is on the field. He's in the part of the starting 11 today for head coach Marcello Gasparini. Well, here we go then. Everybody's ready, the players are ready, the coaches are ready. The game clock bug on your screen is unofficial. Everything after this match will be official. Davis, or Herriman, won the toss. They elected to defend the south goal. We're all ready. Just waiting on some last-minute bench call-outs from the officials. Off we go, the ball rolls into the unknown. And it's an immediate start here by the Davis Darts. And it'll be an almost immediate throw down by that corner. Just like what we saw on Monday in the semifinal. About ahead of the clock here, so we'll reset the clock here for just a moment. Here comes the long throw by Jensen. Bagshaw gets there, but took out his own man in the process. The ball comes back in from Sanchez, and it goes wide in the end for a goal kick. Pretty good contingent of Herriman fans on this side of the pitch. Here's Alex Dunham finding Josiah Henderson. Now Trevor Walk. Boy, did he have a massive game in the semifinals against Farmington on Monday. Helping to press that Farmington line after they were reduced to 10 men at the beginning of extra time. And now here's Landon Allen, the assister on the winning goal. Handing out to Kaysen Bagshaw. Bagshaw looks for Dunham. Instead, he rolls it for Walk. And then for Brock Underhill. And then for Dunham. It's looking good. Where's it going? He plays in Josiah Henderson. Doesn't have any real support behind him, so he finds Underhill instead. Oh, misplay there from Livermore. Dunham plays it in. Oh, that was a missed kick there. Jeffrey Smith brings it down. Eventually able to push it back for Owen Blackman, who gets the start today at center back. He plays in the ball. He let it run. Brock Underhill on the back end of it. This is good from Herriman. A header comes in, and Taylor was in the middle. Still a chance here, maybe Trevor Walk. Trying to fiddle it through traffic. Probably should have played that out. Now here comes Andrew Donegan. Donegan. Pearson. That pass looked a bit short. Here's Livermore in some space. Livermore, just a little too far for Kevin Barnes. Nash Jensen, number 12, off our screen. Comes back from a red card suspension suffered at the hands of the Syracuse Titans on last Thursday in the quarterfinals. Here he is taking the throw now. He was replaced in the lineup by Justin Mayer on Monday in the semis. Today, Mayer drops to the bench. And so they come back almost with a 3-1-4-2 look today, Davis does. Sparrow. Davis didn't score their opening goal until about maybe 20 minutes into the game on Monday against Mountain Ridge. He found it tough sledding against that Ridge defense. Probably going to be a much bigger test today against this Herriman team that loves to clog it up in the middle. That's why we said to you all at home, be prepared for a lot of physical play. We're going to see it today. Jeffrey Smith. Underhill, heavy first touch. But it finds Bagshaw. Good long switch with that one to find Alex Dunham. Dunham, his ball was hopeful, but it found Jeffrey Smith instead, and now he could be in. Jeffrey Smith Cuts it back. Bagshaw stands it up. It's swinging a little bit too much. Alex Dunham, though, gets there first. Dunham cuts into the penalty area, tries a shot. And it was always just going over the fingers of Jude Walker. The first big test for Walker. And a goal kick as Herriman came on the counterattack, and they nearly caught Davis out defensively. The Darts were scrambling. Good aggressive play by Taylor. Now Trevor Walk. This is a good start here from the Herriman Mustangs, coming out with a lot of pace here at the beginning of the game. It's Walk pulling it back across the face of goal. Henderson was cut into the front, but Barnes was there stronger ahead of him. Henderson. Barnes. Barnes. It was a missed header there as Donegan was in there first. It'll remain a goal kick in the end for Davis, or rather for Herriman. Allen. Bagshaw. Bagshaw for Smith. It'll reach him. Flag stays down for now. No offside. Jeffrey Smith. Little move to get around. It's ricocheted back off him. It'll be chased down by Sparrow in that corner, and he will golf it up the side. Well, Dunham was almost prepared to swing at that. He took a good shot earlier, and it just missed the fingertips of the goaltender Walker. Almost looks like Herriman's playing a wide 4-2-4 today, which leaves a lot of space in that midfield, as you see Underhill here. And now here comes Dunham. Dunham finds Walk. Walk turns. Nice move there. Plays it in, and Henderson wasn't on the same page with him. Play on, says the referee. Barnes. Barnes. Still Barnes. No help there. Livermore had it bashed against his hand. Free kick on a handball. And the referee eventually does not pull back the previous play for a foul, but he does point out Kaysen Bagshaw and says, "You're in my head now." A little miscommunication there with Bagshaw and Smith. Almost about 10 minutes in. Donegan. Bumped off by Bailey. Livermore chasing him down. Jeffrey Smith. Foul. No advantage. Free kick. Underhill. It's not going to be long enough. Dunham's going to try to chase it. And eventually it goes out. That'll be a throw down in the deep corner. Trevor Walk. Walk into the penalty area now. And try a shot. Blocked. I think he was trying to find a through ball. Herriman have certainly come out the more aggressive team here in the first half, in the first 11 minutes. Early sub. Ashton Bond comes in, along with Miles Iverson. So subs up top for Suli Fungsavath. Livermore out, and also Andrew Donegan out. Throw comes in from Jensen. It's a good one. It's headed up toward the penalty spot. And eventually cleared away by Henderson. And now look at this. Taylor has Walk coming up with him. Look at this. The counter might be on here. It is going to be on. Walk's going to try to use his pace. And he gets bundled over in the end. No foul. But at the very least, they'll get it away for now. But they were stretched thin at the back, Davis were, for a few seconds. Iverson. Men running through the middle. That's an ambitious shot, but it's right at Tyler Napier in the end. No real menace in that. Well, things starting to open up here. Smith, onside. Nope, he was. And eventually it was going to be either offside or a throw, and eventually the signal is it's a throw. KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the UHSAA playoffs is presented by WGU. Online, accredited, and affordable. That's WGU, the nonprofit university of you. Henderson. Bagshaw. Henderson. Smith stands it up. It was over everybody in the end. That was better from Herriman. I have another substitution here as Cooper Barnes will check in now for Davis. And thank you, Jeff Reeves, for confirming what I just said. Everybody lining up for the long throw here for Davis. Jensen will deliver. Looks a good one. It's allowed to bounce, and it will bounce right into the arms of a grateful Tyler Napier. Jeffrey Smith trying to spring the break. Brock Underhill. Henderson was calling for it up the line, but he wasn't offside. Actually, it's Underhill who switches the play now for Kaysen Bagshaw. Oh, great switch there from Bagshaw. Finds Trevor Walk. Walk. Trying to get around Cooper Barnes. He does so. Great turn. Cooper Barnes left in his wake. The cross comes in. It was a rather ambitious one there from Trevor Walk. But it is a throw. Can't say Herriman have had the better of the chances here in the early going. The Davis defense so stout at the back and so difficult to break down. It's what they pride themselves on, this school. It's what got them the 6A Boys Basketball Championship in 2021. Now then, here's Henderson. Henderson against Barnes. Cooper Barnes clears it, but only as far as Landon Allen, who plays it out wide for Alex Dunham. Dunham looking for the ball in. Only hits it as far as Roderick Sanchez. A poor header there from Henderson, about for a throw. Almost a bit of an almighty mix-up at the back between Taylor Meyer and Luke Bittner. Throw just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the end. Bagshaw. They try to look for that switch again, and it's Jarek Sparrow who gets there ahead of Alex Dunham, but it'll be Bailey who gets ahead of them first. But before it even happens, it'll be a throw to Herriman. If you're just joining us, Herriman, by the way, under Marcello Gasparini, was 4 wins, 3 draws, 7 losses prior to the start of the playoffs. They have been unbeaten now in 6 consecutive matches. 5 wins and 1 draw. That 1 draw was the penalty shootout victory against Corner Canyon. Way back in the second round. Seems like a long time ago now. They defeated Westlake, Corner Canyon, then they upset West High School in extra time, and then they beat Farmington on Monday. They are known around their parts in Herriman as the Cardiac Kids, because they defeated Westlake by a goal, then they won in penalties, then they defeated West and Farmington in extra time. But now they've got to defend this long throw. Here it comes from Nash Jensen, and it goes as far as Bailey. Up from the back, here's Meyer. There's a long ball that was blasted away again by Bailey. Allen up with the header. Iverson pulls it back. Nobody home there to receive that one, and finally swept away there. Clear by Trevor Walk, but still work to do here for the Herriman defense. That's a good one too, and it will roll out just beyond the reach of Kevin Barnes for a throw. We're going to have another sub. Now Justin Merrill will check in for Ashton Bond. Tayson Holt opposite for the Herriman Mustangs. Racing Alex Dunham, so a sub up top. And a sub in the midfield here. Almost halfway through the first half here at the Rio Tinto Stadium. Goalless between Herriman and Davis. Mayer. Iverson. Now they could start the counter here. Underhill being chased down by Cooper Barnes, who won the ball, but so did Kaysen Bagshaw, and then it's hooked back into play by Brock Underhill. It's a chase on for it. Oh, and Jude Walker has to come out. Not a very smart play there by Luke Bittner. He tried to get too fancy with it and cleared it almost inadvertently back into a dangerous position, but Jude Walker ever out of his net alertly to get it. Trying to split Iverson. Iverson is in. And he just couldn't turn around in time. Jace Bailey with the last touch wins it. Now it's Henderson. Long leg in by Meyer. Wins a throw for Davis. Check it, it's Herriman's throw. Taylor, the score of the winner in extra time on Monday against Farmington. Well, that's great 1-2 play there. And now here's Brock Underhill. And now here's Jeffrey Smith, who switched over from left to right back, trying to find Trevor Walk. That will be a throw for Herriman. Quickly taken, no prisoners. Trevor Walk. Walk has got Taylor running into the middle if he wants him. Instead decides to try and move it out to his left, now to his right. He's got defenders chasing shadows at the moment. Trevor Walk pulls it across the face of goal. That should be a corner. No, it's going to be a goal kick. Well defended there by Jarek Sparrow. Alex Dunham set to check back in here for Herriman. 23 minutes into this one, no goals between Davis and Herriman. Just as we were against between Alta and Lehigh in the first half, or rather the whole game. It ended in a shootout, 3-1. Final score in the shootout then. Jensen does pull it back. He does so beautifully into the path of Elliot Pearson. And now it's Jarek Sparrow. Well, not good enough on the pass there to finds the foot of Jeffrey Smith. And now Jensen has to blast this back through, and eventually it'll end up being a goal kick. KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the UHSAA playoffs is presented by Heidemann and Associates. Reminder, at the conclusion of tonight's match, I'll be selecting our Heidemann and Associates man of the match. They're offering a free consultation to all Game Night Live Rewind viewers. You can call them at 801-472-7742 or visit them online at utah.law. We'd like to thank Heidemann and Associates for being in our corner as one of our sponsors for KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports all school year long. And we'd like to send our congratulations to the classes of 2022 that will walk the stage this week. Davis High Schools, according to my cameraman here, Vince Francis, was today. There will be 3 more tomorrow at BYU at the Marriott Center. Talk about a traffic nightmare for those trying to watch the baseball games. If there are any tomorrow, that is. Allen. Going to try to chase on here, Tayson Holtz. Luke Bittner, first to it, concedes the throw. Herriman's been getting a lot of those deep positions down by the flags. Here's Tayson Holt again. Grant Taylor. Taylor can't get it out of his feet fast enough. Allen back for Dunham. Dunham closed down pretty quickly there by Braxton Passy, but he goes right around him and gets right through his legs before Bittner finally smokes it out and concedes the throw. Dunham. Look at the pace he's using. Josiah Henderson has it, but the flag goes up. Offside. Offside by about a few steps, I would say. First time that really anybody's been caught offside in a while here in these two matches. We only had, I think, 1 total offside the whole match between Alta and Lehigh. Livermore. Oh, great tackle there by Landon Allen to find Tayson Holt. And now Grant Taylor. Barnes comes up, tries to go through the legs of somebody, but Grant Taylor says not so fast. Alejandro Bedoya getting set to check back in for the Herriman Mustangs. And on the other side, Andrew Donegan comes in. So a sub in the midfield on both sides. And also Nico Mosquera comes in for the Herriman Mustangs, number 21. As Marcello Gasparini goes for some size and power up front. To solid up that 3-4-1-2 formation he has in there. Jensen with the long throw. Looked like there was a lot of contact in the box, no foul. Barnes hooks it back in, hopefully, and eventually goes wide. Comfortably for a goal kick. Elliot Pearson was in there, but went down a little too easily for the referee's liking. Dunham. Throw. Right up into the stands. It's another one we've seen of those in the stands today. Mosqueda. Donegan. Livermore. Oh, that's a bit short. And Jeffrey Smith has it now. Rolls it out for Mosqueda. He'll wait for support and finds Alex Dunham. Dunham suddenly has a lot of space to run into. Finds Tayson Holt now, who plays it in for Bedoya. It was long foot in one there by Nash Jensen. Still with Herriman though. And it will be another throw down by that half wall. See if Herriman goes with a long throw. They go short this time. Allen. Dunham. Tried to play in Josiah Henderson. It comes right to Tayson Holt. Was a goal. Wasn't a bad one. Tried to hit it first time. Went over the top in the end by about 3-4 yards. Jude Walker's goal hasn't really been tested that much. The early chance from Alex Dunham was the only one that really forced him to have a high heartbeat. Ooh, Holt. Bedoya. Holt. Jensen. Then Henderson. Underhill. Boy, that was a bit of a mishit pass, wasn't it, for Jeffrey Smith? Underhill. Switch. Dunham. Boy, Josiah Henderson is standing all by himself on the far side. Nobody's seen him yet. Trying to win it back was Pearson, couldn't do it. It's rolled out from Mosqueda. And he'll win the throw. Well, Herriman's had the better of the play here the last 5 minutes or so, and Suli Fongzavas sees it, brings back, well, was going to bring in Hudson Barnes, but now he'll bring him in. And now Kaysen Bagshaw will come in, replacing right back Jeffrey Smith. Suli Fongzavas sensing they need some defensive help at the back. 30 minutes played here in the first half, 10 to go. No goals yet. Underhill, Dunham. Mosqueda. Underhill couldn't go with the pass the way he wanted to. Now the counter might be on here. Pearson trying to dribble through Henderson in some traffic. Bagshaw as ever getting back defensively, goal side. Now it's Tayson Holt. Blackman. Alex Dunham. Bedoya trying to cut off in front. Can't do it. Shielded off pretty well there by Barnes. Livermore. Livermore, can he get this right? Into the back post, and Donegan was arriving. And eventually, it's blown back by Bedoya. And eventually, it's a throw. That was better from Davis. Herriman's had the real better of the play the last 10, 15 minutes or so, but nothing's come of it just yet. First semblance of any noise we've heard from any of the Davis faithful down here. They've been awfully quiet. Holt. Maybe pushed out a bit too wide there. Dunham scuffed the pass. Livermore couldn't keep it in. Throw. Another sub. Looks like it's going to be Grant Taylor back on here. And you have Bond, Iverson, and Barnes all back in here for Davis. In fact, it was a... they're going to say it was a free kick. They're going to say it was a free kick for... And Isles Iverson correcting Landon Allen, saying it was actually a throw. It wasn't a free kick. Now Henderson. Blackman. Taylor. Blackman. And now Dunham. Bagshaw's all by himself on that right side. They're trying to switch the play over that side. Davis almost looked like they're in a 5-4-1 now, with the lone striker being Bond up top. But Herriman very happy to be in possession of it. Good 1-2 there for Bagshaw. Now trying to find Henderson, who does get there first. Henderson trying to turn. It's deflected. Taylor thought about it. Taylor trying to set it up on his right foot, trying to find Bedoya. Oh, it's a misplay there, and it goes right into the arms of Jude Walker. Dunham plays it beautifully into the path of Grant Taylor. Oof. Barnes almost got cut out there. It's Blackman who lifts it away. Now here's Dunham, and the counter could be on. They have Josiah Henderson, and now look at this coming forward here for Herriman. Trying to roll it out wide. It looks like the pass was deflected by Bittner. It was. It's a throw. Gonna get back in quickly. Dunham. Holt, Henderson. He plays it in, trying to find Mosqueda. It's a misplayed header, but a good nudge on by Jensen, and we're going to have a corner kick. Meanwhile, Josiah Henderson is asking for a substitution here. He might have hurt something. He's limping a little bit as he's trundling back there. Looks like he's holding onto that right hip, it looks like. Meanwhile, it's a corner. Bagshaw takes it. do have a sub warming up. It's Underhill on that right side. It comes in toward the back post. Taylor rising. It was always just going over. First semblance of a chance there for Grant Taylor, who just couldn't keep the header down. And now we are going to get the sub. Henderson comes out, Underhill in. Other side, Justin Mayer and Kevin Barnes out. Roderick Sanchez back in for the Davis Darts. 36 minutes played, no goals thus far, though we have had some good opportunities. Sanchez. Trying to find Ashton Bond, and Tyler Napier, well out of his goal, will make the comfortable scoop. Mosqueda. Taylor. Good switch out. Bagshaw. Trying to find Grant Taylor in the middle. Only found the foot of Miles Iverson, and eventually it's going to be a throw for Herriman. Coming down the stretch of this first half. Well, we expected a physical, gritty first half. Instead, what we're getting is a whole bunch of offense here in the first half. And no goals to show for it as of yet here in this one, though the better chances you have to say have been by Herriman. Bailey. Foul, free kick. Ooh, and Bailey goes down. Might have taken a kick to the back of his leg here. Hopefully he's okay. And Bailey's going to limp off the field here. Sub's going to come on here for Herriman. It looks like Joshua Rangel comes on to replace Jace Bailey. Hopefully he's okay. And here is Rangel right out of the blocks with his first touch. Bagshaw. Rangel. Blackman. Dunham. Dunham. Trying to twist and turn his way through. Couldn't find his way past Braxton Passy, who subsequently gives it up for a throw. Last minute of the first half here. Minute 40 of 40 here in the first. Oh, and that was a bit of a missed kick, but Mosqueda had a hold of the back of the jersey of Hudson Barnes and a foul. And that looks like that's going to do it for the first half, unless we have something crazy down here at the end. A very offensive, aggressive first half, but not a lot of fouls. Underhill knocks it down. Bedoya, Taylor. Is there going to be one last chance? 10 seconds. Taylor pushes wide. Did he get it too far, though? It ricochets back into the area. And Taylor Meyer able to clear his lines as the clock expires here in the first half. Halftime, mission accomplished for the Herriman Mustangs. They get what they wanted. They get to halftime goalless, even though they had, you have to say, the better of the play in the first half. Well, it's been an enthralling 40 minutes, but no one was able to break the deadlock yet, just like in our first game. The 6A final presented by Mountain America Credit Union has reached halftime with your score, Herriman 0, Davis 0. When you come back, we'll have thoughts from halftime and the start of the second half. You're watching the KSL Game Night Live Rewinds coverage of the 2022 UHSAA 6A Boys Soccer Final, presented by Mountain America Credit Union. Brought to you by our friends at Western Governors University.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back, everyone, to KSL Game Night Live Rewinds coverage of the 2022 UHSAA 6A Boys Soccer Final, presented by Mountain America Credit Union. We are goalless at the break between Herriman and Davis. Alexander Timolip here flying solo with you for the 6A Final. On KSLSports.com, our telecast is presented by Heidemann and Associates, where you can learn more about them online by contacting them at 801-472-7742 or contact them online at utah.law, and also by Western Governors University, the nonprofit university of you. Well, it's an interesting first half. I saw a lot more offense than did physical play. We thought there might be more physical play in the first half, but there was a lot more offense, and you couldn't even say that Herriman had the better of the chances in the first half, though Davis had their say as well. We will see where it takes us here in the second half. Again, what's at stake? Davis trying to win their 5th state title overall, their first in a decade. The Herriman Mustangs are trying to do the impossible and win their first state championship, which would truly be one of the greatest championship runs in the history of Utah high school sports. We have 40 minutes to decide that. Otherwise, we go to extra time for a second time again today. Just waiting for the game ball to come back out here. It has been a fun day of football here at the Rio Tinto Stadium. I want to thank RSL and the owners for putting this all together, and the Utah High School Activities Association under the direction of Rob Cuff. And we are humbled and honored to have been its official streaming partner for the last few years now. And it's been my pleasure to call both of these games today. Referee says we're ready to go. Everybody's set. Referees are in place. And off we go once again into the unknown. 40 minutes for one of these two sides to pull it out. No changes from the starting 11s that were in the first half. Pearson kind of left that one behind. Henderson pounced on it. Iverson. Still Miles Iverson. Still Miles Iverson. Pushes it in. And it is no foul in the end. The AR waved the flag and the referee said no. Well, it was a poor ball there, wasn't it? Roderick Sanchez popped it up with his first touch, finds Iverson, and now here comes Sparrow on the overlap. Eventually, it's Dunham who concedes the throw. Well, the referee had a good view of it, but he waved his arms away for the appeals for a foul. Now we're going to have yet another stoppage here. And I believe we are going to have a warning issued. More than a warning, I think we're going to have a yellow card issued to Suli Fongsavath here. And this is going to be a warning to Suli Fongsavath, who was up in arms about the no call. And there is the yellow card from the official. So that means he's got to remain seated in his technical area for the rest of the match. Otherwise, he gets sent. We saw that on Monday where Farmington had one of their assistants sent off from the bench after protesting the red card given to Cameron Bingham. And so Suli Fongsavath becomes the next victim of that unfortunate rule. So Fongsavath with the yellow. Didn't like the call. Now we're back underway again. And hopefully now that score is settled. Underhill heads it away. Anderson a little bit too wide there for Trevor Walk. Davis coming out with a bit more energy here in the second half, which is what's been missing really in those wins that they've had. They love to win ugly, these Davis Darts. Plenty of room to run for Kaysen Bagshaw. Blackman. Smith. Taylor. Throw in. Taylor. Or rather, it's a Blackman, excuse me. Bittner. We'll come all the way back to Jude Walker. It's only our second card handed out today. First was handed out to Alex Dunham, and then that last one, of course, handed out to Suli Fongsavath, the head coach for Davis. A very rare occurrence indeed, but you can't say he got his money's worth after arguing the call, or the no call he felt that should have been called. Anyway, here's Pearson. Does he have enough support in the middle? Bagshaw put a foot in there, couldn't win it. Chipped out. Now here's Livermore, puts a shot or across the face of goal. Tyler Napier will let it run all the way to Jarek Sparrow. Now Sanchez, the outside of the foot. Whisked away only as clear as Sanchez. And now Pearson. Pearson turns on the left foot, pulls it back in. Underhill there again, trying to scramble it clear. They do, and Dunham clears his lines up only as far as Nash Jensen. And Pearson's touch let him down. Seems to be everybody's trying to gain possession of it here as Jensen hooks a long, hopeful one in. Jace Bailey is underneath it. Barnes back into the middle, and that is Tyler Napier's ball. Bagshaw. Trying to find Henderson. Still gets to him, though. Dispossessed, though, by Taylor Meyer. No foul. But Landon Allen wins it back, and then it's Henderson. Into an empty space, really, now for Sanchez. Sanchez trying to find the run of Barnes, but it only finds the head of Bagshaw. Jeffrey Smith. Pearson. This looks good. Pearson, goal kick. Bagshaw, loose ball. Pearson. Pearson thought about it. Was eventually dispossessed by Jace Bailey. Cleared lines by Dunham. It was a hopeful ball trying to find Trevor Walk. A couple of players ran into each other. Taylor in a race with Passy for it. Oh, that's a loose ball. And Herriman could be in business here. It's left behind for Henderson. And then it's Smith. And then it's Dunham. Alex Dunham coming through the middle. Chips it in! And it just was out of reach a bit for Grant Taylor. It was coming on strong. And we're going to have a substitution here for the Davis Darts as Andrew Donegan will come back on the field for Miles Iverson. So a switch up top for Suli Fongsavath. Probably going back to that 4. Looks like a 3. Almost looks like a 3-1. Almost looks like a 3-4-3 here. It was up towards Donegan, who won it. But then Livermore ran into traffic. And then Jace Bailey wriggled free from that traffic with it. And he's still running with it. Trying to dribble around a couple of defenders. Leaves somebody in his wake. Now here's Dunham. And pulling it back for Henderson. And finding Trevor Walk. This is good from the Mustangs. And now Walk down the byline. Needs to play it back. He does. It's Dunham. Dunham looking. Dunham couldn't get it out of his feet, but Underhill comes in to get him. Tries the long shot. And it goes over the crossbar. Wasn't a bad idea, though. Maybe just a semblance of a chance there from Herriman. Just testing the waters to see if Jude Walker is still awake. Kind of ironic that the banners, some of the banners across the stadium say believe. It's true, this Herriman team certainly believes. Here's Trevor Walk. Walking through traffic. Trying to find support. Trevor Walk into the middle. Oh, it just eluded Grant Taylor. Otherwise, that might have been a big-time chance. Opening up for Herriman. And now here comes Donegan. Oh, heavy touch. Livermore pressure by Dunham. Elliot Pearson. There's so much space for him to run in the midfield, and eventually there's a foul. And Underhill is okay. His foot got stepped on the back. Dunham now has it. Dunham's got Josiah Henderson running right through the seam. He finds him. And only as far as Trevor Walk. Now the reset. Bagshaw. Smith couldn't gather that with good control. Donegan was lurking at the back there in front of Jace Bailey. Sanchez takes it. It's a long one. And it hops right up into the arms of Tyler Napier from about 65 yards out. Wasn't a bad idea, though, to try to get something on goal. Davis offense has found very much stiff resistance from that Herriman defense. So well organized and so structured. It's so hard to break them down. You see how wide they're spread out in that 4-2. You see almost like a 4-3-3 they're running. An umbrella kind of look from up here. Bagshaw trying to find Walk. He's going to find Trevor Walk probably. But it only finds Luke Bittner. Sanchez. Pearson. Donegan. Donegan. Oh, just couldn't find Pearson. Here's Jace Bailey. Bailey looking for Trevor Walk. Only finds the head of Nash Jensen. Livermore pressured there by Brock Underhill, but well played by Bagshaw. But now Donegan, it looked like a handball. There was no call. Sanchez plays it in, and it's into the hands eventually of Napier. Referee had a good look at it, but apparently said that Donegan's arm was not in an unnatural position and thus no handball. Dunham, too heavy a touch, throw in. Substitution in here. Reminder that KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports is presented by Heidemann and Associates. We're offering a free consultation to all Game Night Live Rewind viewers. You contact them at 801-472-7742, or you can contact them online at utah.law for more. Barnes and Iverson back in for the Davis Darts. Almost 55 minutes played here in the second half. Donegan, lot of space for Iverson. Iverson, Donegan, Barnes, save me by Napier, the rebound is put in! The flag goes up, the flag went up, it does not count! The flag went up, it does not count! The flag goes up for offside, and now Josiah Henderson might be away. They're still down by the corner, some of the Davis players. Now here's Henderson. Henderson plays it in. Bittner plays it away. Underhill's there. Smith into the arms of Drew Walker. High ball there for Donegan to chase down. He gets tangled up there with Jace Bailey, but still wins it. Now here's Roderick Sanchez. Invited to shoot. That was never going to go anywhere near the goalkeeper, Tyler Napier. So in case anybody's wondering, the goal was denied because of an offside. It was Barnes who emerged from an offside position, and the linesman who has the best view of it said that Barnes left the back shoulder of the defender too early on the rebound. And what was the best chance yet for either side to get the opening goal? Bailey goes over the top, no foul. Ashton Bond trying to bring it down. Brock Underhill gets his foot in there. Barnes. Trying to get around Jeffrey Smith. Can't do so. And press back up to the defense of Taylor Meyer. So we're going to see Gavin Gasparini, coach's son, come on the field here for Herriman. Interesting choice there by Marcello Gasparini. The long throw from Nash Jensen. Headed on towards the near post and no one attacking it except the hands of Tyler Napier. Underhill. Jeffrey Smith. This looks good from Herriman. For Chase now, here's Gavin Gasparini. And it will be too far and a goal kick for Jude Walker. Coming up at the conclusion of our match, I'll be selecting our Heidemann and Associates Man of the Match, presented by Heidemann and Associates. We'd like to thank them for their sponsorship of our coverage of the UHSAA all school year long. And on behalf of Heidemann and Associates, we'd like to send our congratulations to the graduating classes of 2022. Underhill. Walk. Almost reached him. Hudson Barnes won a long leg in there and got it. Now Ashton Bond. Eventually it comes back to the possession of Alex Dunham. That should be Davis's throw. It is. Almost halfway through the second half. Almost 60 minutes have been played. Nash Jensen will throw it long, aiming for Ashton Bond, and it only finds the hands of Tyler Napier, who can roll it out now for Jeffrey Smith, who might be able to start the counter here if he looks up and finds Gavin Gasparini. He tries to look for Gasparini. It's Taylor Meyer, the long header. But then it comes for Taylor, and Taylor could be in. Grant Taylor with a couple of men to beat. Grant Taylor ricochets right back off him. And it's Trevor Walk now for Grant Taylor. Plays it in. It's in. Henderson somehow couldn't get it off his feet. I don't know how he kept that one out of the net, but somehow it did. The best chance anybody's had for either side. There were some missed heartbeats in that Davis defense. Grant Taylor had them unlocked at the back, but Josiah Henderson just couldn't settle it down and find the touch. So everything settles back down again. 59 minutes played of the 80. Almost 20 minutes left here at the Rio Tinto Stadium. Jeffrey Smith now, Brock Underhill, plenty of space in the midfield. Trevor Walk with a touch. Trevor Walk cuts it back. Trevor Walk tried the shot, blocked by Bittner. It comes for Underhill. And now for Allen. And now for Smith. This looks good. Jeffrey Smith trying to spin. Spins away into traffic. But it's still won by Henderson. Smith leads it behind for Taylor. And eventually it's going to be a throw for the Herriman Mustangs. Don't you just love this? Here's Allen. Oh, Jeffrey Smith, poor ball, played it right to Ashton Bond. And now the counter could be on here. Look at this, it's 3 against 3. And a great challenge there from Underhill. That is going to be a throw-in for the Davis Darts. Well played defensively by Brock Underhill. Got all the ball, none of the man. In the end, you have to say that Barnes went over relatively easily. As we're going to have a substitution in here again. Counting down the minutes to oblivion. There are less than 20 now. 60 minutes of the 80. We played an hour of football. No goals, though the best chance of the game, you have to say, came from Josiah Henderson. Davis had a goal disallowed for an offside about 6 minutes ago. This one blasted in the air by Jeffrey Smith. Jensen. Long, hopeful ball. And eventually comes to nothing. If you're just joining us, you know what's at stake for Herriman. The Mustangs trying to complete one of the greatest championship runs in Utah high school sports history. It already is one of the greatest high school sports championship game runs. But if they win today, it will be one of the great championship runs ever in Utah high school sports history. But they've got some defending to do here with about 62 minutes of the 80 played. Justin Mayer comes on, replacing Roderick Sanchez, opposite for Herriman. Opposite for Herriman, Dax Nielsen comes in, number 27. First appearance we've seen by him all day, the converted goalkeeper. Marcello Gasparini talks about him as being, quote, if I may use some language here, one hell of a striker since converting from being a goalkeeper. Dunham did very well against Hudson Barnes to win it back and concedes the throw up the line. Nielsen will slot, it looks like, into that number 9 spot up top. So they're going to continue to go with that 4-3-3. Almost looks like a 4-3-2-1 now. Almost looks like a 4-3-2-1 now. Christmas tree formation, as they call it in soccer. Mayer. Passy. Taylor Meyer. Scramble clear by Henderson. Barnes lifts the ball in, looking for Livermore. The heads go up. Back post Barnes. The angle was too tight. Now here's Trevor Walk. Look at the pace he's got. Trevor Walk running free here. Looking for Dax Nielsen. Finds him. Good play though by Bittner. It'll be a throw down by that far corner for Herriman. See if they go long here. Instead they go short for a walk. And now Dunham. Dunham gets through traffic. Trevor Walk. Back for Brock Underhill. Underhill. Walk. Plenty of space. Dunham. Back for Walk. Is he going to get there? Yes. Corner. No flag for offside. No, they're going to say it's a goal kick. I thought for sure that was a corner for Herriman, but referee said no. Second curious call we've had today. Jarek Sparrow comes back in, replacing Hudson Barnes. A midfield for a D-sub. Suspect that's Sully Fongsavat's way of trying to generate some more offense down the stretch here in the final 15 minutes. Here's Owen Blackman. Jeffrey Smith. Smith got Gasparini running through the middle. He tries to find Henderson. Instead it comes to Nielsen, and Dax Nielsen might be away. Fresh legs. Dax Nielsen trying to find Josiah Henderson, only found Cooper Barnes. And then a hopeful ball that only finds Owen Blackman. Blackman in a race. That looked like a foul. It's not, it's a throw. I'm going to try go for the quick throw, but a ball was in the field of play before that. In fact, there was going to be a sub made by Sully Fongsavat before that. It's Roderick Sanchez here for Miles Iverson. It's another midfield sub, so I suspect Sanchez will drop into the midfield, and that means going up top will be Elliot Pearson. 66 minutes of the 80 played. Counting down the time here in regulation. Livermore. Free kick. I thought for sure that Livermore went over a little easy there for my liking. And this is the first big chance that Davis is going to have here. Two-man party over the ball. It's Sanchez and Livermore. They're going to walk off the 10 yards. This is from about maybe 20, call it maybe 26, 27 yards out. Davis could score from this kind of position. They've grinded out a lot of victories this season, but they need a play to go their way right now. See who is to take it. You have to think the next one that goes in is going to be the title winner. It's Livermore. It's way over. And Herriman survived that threat as the ball was rolling there on the goal kick. In fact, I think we had some encroachment that the referee didn't like from Josiah Henderson, so we're going to try it again. Put it back in play. Just resetting the clock here a little bit. We're out of sync by about 6 or 7 seconds. Up for Nielsen. Nielsen, the hopeful header. Who will that go off of? It's going to be a Herriman throw. Henderson. Dunham. Dunham. Still Alex Dunham. Took a deflection. Corner. It was watched warily wide there by Jude Walker. And now big opportunity here off the set piece here for Herriman. Coming down to the final 11 or 10 minutes of regulation time. 67 minutes, 68, 69 minutes of the 80 have been played. We are taking forever to get that game ball over there. Reminder that the reserve players are the ones that are doing the ball boy duty today, and somebody was trying to get it over there and it just hit the back stanchion. At any rate, here's the corner for Herriman. It's a good one to the near post. The heads go up. And we're going to get a foul in the box. It's going to be a push-off. Jude Walker will take it quick. Down to the final 10 minutes. 70 minutes of the 80 played. The penultimate 10. Race on by Mayer. He will not win that race. He goes over easily. No penalty. Tried to win the penalty and was a very poor attempted doing so in the end, but here's Pearson picking him up. Elliott Pearson, Cooper Barnes, cleared away. And Dax Nielsen gonna get there. Looked like he got kicked out there, and he did. Foul, free kick. Hey, Davis crowd doesn't like it, but it was the right call in my opinion. We take it short here for Allen. Herriman very happy to be in possession of it at this point with 70 minutes played here at the Rio Tinto Stadium. Here is Dunham. He's looked lively here in the second half. You throw in again. Herriman getting a lot of chances down by that deep corner. Should be a Herriman throw. Again, it is. Substitution before that. Grant Taylor back in. Andrew Donegan, Miles Iverson. Two more offensive subs here for Sully Fongsavath opposite Grant Taylor. So that is another good one right there for Marcello Gasparini. Coming down the wire here in regulation. Henderson pots it up with his first touch. Finds the head of Nash Jensen. It's hooked clear, but only as far as Dunham, who brings it down nicely with his control and finds Landon Allen. And now Jeffrey Smith. Smith wins the touch. And it's cleared by Barnes, but only as far as Allen. Allen tried to play it through the legs, and now Donegan. And now the counter could be on here for Davis. It's 4v4 up the back. Smith sprinting back. On the overlap is Sparrow, and Napier comes out to make a very smart save. And now Grant Taylor has it. Trying to find the feet of Trevor Walk. He does. He spins through traffic, and now look at this. Trevor Walk is away. Trevor Walk with pace. Finding and searching and getting a corner. No free kick. It is a corner. You feel that Henderson might have been able to get that and put it a good cross in that might have been able to have Taylor attack, but no such comes. Meanwhile, it's going to be a substitution, I think. Hasten Bagshaw for Alex Dunham and Justin Mayer back in. And it looks like who's going off here for the Davis Darts? Is it Andrew Donegan that's coming off? Some confusion here as to who's going off here for Davis. It is not a substitution, in fact. Now it's a sub. And we may get a delay of game warning here against Davis. I'm not sure we're going to get... Ooh, looks like we have some blood. And so we'll take a quick stoppage while they take a look at that. Referee immediately spotted the blood, and so we're going to have a stoppage here while they get that fixed. And meanwhile, Nico Mosqueda will come in. Into the final 7 minutes. Is there going to be another dramatic twist in the tail, just like there was in extra time? Herriman brings it down. The heads go up. The header comes in. Not enough pace on it, though. You have to feel the next goal that goes in will likely be a title winner. Who's it going to be? Brock Underhill wins the header. It came off the arm of somebody. Nico Mosqueda trying to win it back. Nash Jensen clears. Donegan trying to get there ahead of Smith, but Smith wins it back. Smith looking up now. Trying to find Josiah Henderson. It's cleared. Only as far as Owen Blackman here. We'll go chase it down. Very high line being played here by Herriman here in the last 6 minutes of this second half. What a finish we're set up for here. Smith. Ooh, Nielsen let it run. Probably not smartly though. Foul called. And that is going to be a yellow card to Dax Nielsen. Substitution again. Taysom Holt comes in to replace Trevor Walk up top. And also Grant Taylor back in as well, and Dax Nielsen comes out. As Nielsen goes into the book. Actually, Holt replaces Dax Nielsen. And meanwhile, Trevor Walk looks like he's about ready to check back in as they try to stop the bleeding on his left arm. Approaching the final 5 minutes of regulation. 75 minutes of 80 have almost been played. Jeffrey Smith hoping. Can't find Holt, but only finds the foot of Bittner. Ooh, Underhill. Just fiddled right through the foot that time of Miles Iverson. Throw in, and back comes Trevor Walk. And so in comes Ashton Bond replacing Andrew Donegan up top. "75 minutes of 80. Ooh, almost like a high boot. That's a foul. No yellow card, though. Doesn't look like it was intentional. Free kick coming from a dangerous position here. Everybody's going to gather up on the top of that 18-yard box. See if Herriman can hold their nerve and hold their line here. Taylor Meyer to take it. Trying to swing it out toward that far post. The heads go up, and eventually in the end it comes to a goal kick. No, it's a corner. Didn't look like it came off a white shirt. Nash Jensen trying to fire up the fans. I believe this is the first Davis corner of the entire match. And they're going to try a top of the box set piece here from the outswinger. Got to be wary of the counterattack here if you're the Davis Darts. It's a low one, comes in, and eventually it's chested away. Trying to win it back, and look out. That one comes near the bench of the Herriman Mustangs. Throw in to the Davis Darts. Surely what must be going through the minds of these two head coaches right now. Marcello Gasparini for Herriman. On the other side, Sully Funksavath. Polar opposites, you might say. Gasparini's currently standing, while Sully Funksavath is sitting over on the sideline in his chair. And Topher Pearson, the assistant coach, is the only one that's standing, really, of the coaches on that side. Very interesting MO. But he's been in this situation before, though. Sully Funksavath, his 15th year at the helm of this Davis Darts program. Underhill. Bond. Only found the feet of Owen Blackman, but it was a handball and a free kick. 77.5 minutes played of the 80. Meyer takes it, comes in, hopefully looking for that back post run, scuffed at, and then scrambled away. Taylor looking for Henderson. Can he use his pace to get past Passy? No, he can't. Bittner, though, gets it back, and they'll reset from the back. Passy coming forward from his center back spot. Bond struggling with his control here. Might be getting weary just a little bit. And that might be a telling sign right there as that ball rolls out of play for a throw. Well, we already went to extra time once today. Could we see another one? Certainly seems likely. But anything can happen in the 6A playoffs. You should know that by now. In a tournament that has been anything but normal in 6A. It is the 18th seed Herriman Mustangs giving the Davis Darts everything they could handle. Meyer. Iverson. Trevor Walk. Jeffrey Smith. Could be. Grant Taylor running through the back. Grant Taylor is running through. And that's going to be Drew Walker's ball. Final minute of the 80. The penultimate minute of the 80 now on our hands. Is there one more twist in the tail still awaiting us here in the final seconds of regulation? Caden Bagshaw takes the throw. It comes in for Passy. Popped it up with his first touch. Plays it for Iverson. Knocked down by Underhill. Still with Bagshaw. Throw in Herriman. Jeff Reeves will count down the final seconds. Walk. Trevor Walk. Still going. Trevor Walk. It's in! It's in! It's in! I don't believe it! Trevor Walk! That's a title winner! Trevor Walk with the last kick of the game! And the Herriman Mustangs are going to do the unthinkable! Absolutely incredible! What is it about the Herriman Mustangs and late drama? Desolation for Davis! Euphoria for Herriman! In one of the most incredible finishes we'll ever see! Herriman believes! And Cinderella's time has not expired! Launch that towards goal. It is all over. The greatest run in UHSAA sports history is complete. The Herriman Mustangs, the 18th seed, defies all expectations and has done it at the death. 6A champions in 2022. Unbelievable! There is nothing like the UHSAA 6A playoffs. Trevor Walk etches his name into Herriman soccer lore forever. With the very last kick of the game, the Mustangs defy all the odds and complete one of the greatest championship runs in Utah high school sports history. Heartbreak for Davis. Jubilation for the Herriman Mustangs. It may not rival the late heroics of Sergio Aguero in 2012, or indeed the 3-2 comeback completed by Manchester City on Sunday. But in all aspects and in all respects, This is one we will never, ever forget. Herriman High School certainly believes, and that belief has taken them all the way to the top in 2022. What is it about Class 6A and unpredictability? American Fork, the 10 seed, won the boys basketball state championship not 2 months ago. That was good, but this is absolutely unprecedented. A modern day Leicester City. We are watching on the field right before our very eyes. You talk about a first season to remember for Marcello Gasparini. What a first season he's had. A losing record coming into the playoffs at 4 wins, 3 draws, and 7 losses. But the only thing that matters is the trophy you'll carry home when it's all said and done. Congratulations to the Herriman Mustangs. The greatest run ever in Utah high school sports history is now complete. A heartbreaking ending for the Davis Darts. They gave it everything they had, but they were just outdone one better in the end. It took one chance and one goal, and it was Trevor Walk who etched his name into Herriman, not just Herriman lore, but also UHSAA soccer lore for the rest of his life. Soak it all in, Herriman fans. The Mustangs are champions. We are going to step aside and catch our breath and be back with the trophy ceremony in just a few moments. This is KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 UHSAA 6A Boys Soccer Final. Well, in fact, we don't need to. Just one more time for good measure. A truly incredible story. And on the other side, one man's floor is another man's ceiling. I said it at the end of the 5A final, why are there so many tears in soccer? It's because so many opportunities like this to play for a title don't come very often in the beautiful game, and you have to take advantage of it because you never know when you might be back. But don't worry, we know both of these teams will be back and better than ever in 2023. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with some final thoughts and wrap up this entire season of UHSAA boys soccer. The Miracle Mustangs, that's what they'll be known from now on. The Miracle Mustangs complete the run with a bit of Marcello magic at the end. They defeat the Davis Darts by 1-0. Back after this word from WGU on KSLSports.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back to a jubilant Rio Tinto Stadium here in Sandy, Utah. Alex Tumalip here in the broadcast booth with you here. Well, what we have just seen is history. If you just missed it, Herriman, the Mustangs scored with just 2 seconds left in regulation. At the death, they defeat the Davis Starts by 1-0. And congratulations again to Marcello Gasparini and his entire team. A first year they will never forget. The Herriman Mustangs are 6A state champions. Well, we've come to the end of this incredible journey together this season. I could not have imagined being in this spot back on December 1st, 2021 when I was calling my first game for KSL. And I've just found out that today will be my last game for the entire school year for 2021-22. And I have seen it all. I have seen the heartbreak, I've seen the ecstasy, and I've seen the joy, as you all have, through our eyes this entire season, and especially during this very unpredictable UHSAA boys soccer tournament. And we have crowned two very worthy champions. The Alta Hawks won in a penalty shootout. And as you just saw, the Herriman Mustangs win it at the very death by 1-0 over the Davis Starts. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dusty Litster back off site. I'd also like to thank Vince Francis, my cameraman, for giving me this amazing opportunity this season and to give the opportunity to be with all of you at home along this journey through these 20 games that I've done this season. But don't worry, folks. I'm going to take a break for the summer, and I will be back and better than ever, ready to start this journey again with you in the fall of 2022 when we begin our football coverage for KSL Sports Game Night Live Rewind. I'd also like to thank the camera guys I've had throughout the season, including Vince Francis, his dad Bill. I'd also like to thank Tino Psyche and Mike Christensen for the tireless work they have done in helping me to bring these broadcasts to you. I also like to thank my broadcast partners throughout the season, Alex Amrine, Tyler Gibb, Colton Potter, Nathan Thatcher, and Jared Call. And all of you at BYU have been an amazing asset to me, as well as all of my camera guys behind the scenes. And again, a big shout out to Dusty Litzer and also to Vince Francis. People don't realize how much Vince works on these broadcasts. He does so much of the dirty work behind the scenes. I'm very blessed to work with him and to work with this incredible crew, as I've done all season long. So, for one last time, I sign off here from Rio Tinto Stadium here in Sandy, Utah, where the celebration is on for Marcello Gasparini and the Herriman Mustangs. Congratulations to them and to the Alta Hawks for an amazing championship run. It's been an unforgettable school year, and until we meet again, as I always say, malama pono ke kahi ike kahi. Do take care of one another, everyone. Aloha from Utah. Have a great summer, and we will see you all once again in August. This has been KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports. Good night.